You were tipping Chelsea to be in a meaningful position.
I think they will be. I think it will be. I think Forest will drop out. Chelsea
2 wins in 10 league games for Chelsea.
Sure. Not
winless away from home since December the 8th.
They've got to work out and scratch their backsides and work out how they managed to lose that game against Aston Villa. Because, quite frankly, they had so many chances and dominated the game. Goalkeeper doesn't help them. They missed sitter after sitter after sitter, Chelsea. Fair play to Villa to get them back in the game, but Villa didn't have control of this game.
Rashford, good performance.
Well, we know Rashford,
2 assists.
We all know Rashford was going to do it. Everybody that has
half a brain...
I don't
know if we do,
We sat in this studio and everybody to a man said, you weren't in the studio at the time, said, he'll go and perform at Villa. No, he was going to do it. Because he's choosing to do it. He chose not to do it at Man United for the reasons best known to himself.
Maybe they're just getting the best out of him. Maybe they're using him
he's lifting a leg
in the right way.
And maybe he's playing the way he should have played for Man United.
But on Chelsea now, Enzo Maresca has stated that Champions League qualification, Martin, is indeed the aim for this season.
Has to be, especially 5 spots.
Yeah,
has to be.
But maybe.
He then revealed somewhat curiously how he had called in his team recently to detail what impact they have on everyone at the football club. He says, I went to bed, I woke up, I couldn't sleep. I started to think, I thought it could be a good idea in the morning to arrive and pull in all the people together, all the people in the building, to share this message. I said to the players in that meeting, when I arrive here at 7 in the morning, there are people from the kitchen cutting the fruit in the same way. Cut, 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 cut. There are people behind you who you cannot see, who are working every day to help you reach your target. It's true, the players, they don't see that. I try to convince them that there are people who work very hard and we need to push together to reach our target. What do you think all that's about? Does he need to do that? Did you as player? I would have thought you would know the absolute value in your playing days, Martin. I would have thought you were a regular attendee in the canteen chatting to the staff and tell them how much you valued them.
And how you could do it better.
That's your style, is it not?
Absolutely. That they're the core of the club. And I think he was wanting to reinforce that he doesn't want complacency. We're doing a hell of a lot of work for you. It doesn't look as if you're doing enough on the pitch. But if you look at it though, Jim, messaging's very important. And I think when you go out to the public and you tell them that you're not in the race to be champions, as he did around about Boxing Day, he sends a message to the group that, okay, maybe there's excuses for us and we don't really set our targets.
Hang on, Martin, be fair to the fella. What was his alternative? The media are hammering him with, you can win the league, you can win the league, you can win the league, you can win the league. So he's going to go, yeah, I can win the league.
Yes.
And he knows he can't, and then everyone goes and mugs him off when they don't.
No, I think he could have managed it better. I think it could have been. I think it did, because they've almost played to the expectation, which was we're not in the race to win it. No, we're not. And it's mediocre right now, isn't it?
It is.
And it's one of those, actually, I look at Jackson, and he's not available right now, and maybe he wasn't good enough at one stage, but they've really missed him.
Sure.
They've really missed him. And Palmer, as good as he is, when he plays off the front, he needs someone to stretch the opposition.
But I think
he's not getting that.
The original
Jackson.
Discussion that you were having is about, does this have value to the players to get them out of the reality of their own selfish little world and go, this is what you do. Interestingly, there was a very interesting conversation between Neil Warnock and Pep Guardiola. Warnock meets Guardiola.
I saw it.
And it talked about the modern day footballer, and Warnock talking about the power of a dressing room, and Guardiola basically saying, yeah, forget that, right? You've got to set these players up tactically and technically now, rather than having this rallying call about looking around this dressing room about how proud you are of them. That'll tell you something about the culture of footballers. Guardiola was talking very loosely and probably without guard about the code and the mentality of a certain footballer. So now go to your question. Do they care about the guy in the canteen? I would suspect they care more about themselves. And that's the manager's job, to remind them of the responsibility on the field.
Yeah.
And if you want to bring in the head, the cook, the candlestick maker and the butcher and explain to them how important they are to the players, I suspect they'll forget about it on the way out.
This is a new Chelsea that they're building, you know. Do they love the club? Do they want to be here? Do they play for the badge? Do they play for the badge? Let's see it. Because these people work really hard for you to get paid peanuts. And they're here at 5 o'clock. He shouldn't have had to been up all night, though, thinking about that. He should have just done it anyway. He should know that these people work hard.
The cleaner I was waving to.
I agree.
Who I speak to on a daily basis.
In the real world, not the sentimental world, where we're dealing with young footballers who spend most of their time focused on themselves, I think it's not a bad lesson. Will it be absorbed and taken into their psyche?
That's the point.
I doubt it, and so do you.
Hopefully they've remembered that moment and take it upon themselves to say hi to those people who cook their grub.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.